the summer of 1914, Europe looked powerful, rich, and unstoppable. Massive empires ruled the continent. Cities were booming. Technology was advancing rapidly. But beneath the surface, tensions were growing. Nations distrusted each other. Armies were expanding. Alliances were forming. And deep in the Balkans, a single assassination would ignite a chain reaction that changed the world forever. This is the story of how World War I began. Before World War I, Europe was dominated by powerful empires. The British Empire controlled territories across the globe. France remained one of Europe's strongest military powers. Germany had rapidly risen into an industrial giant after unifying in 1871. Russia controlled enormous territories in Eastern Europe and Asia, and Austria-Hungary ruled over many ethnic groups across Central Europe. But these nations did not trust each other. Germany and Britain competed for naval dominance. France wanted revenge after losing territory to Germany in an earlier war. Russia supported Slavic groups in the Balkans. Austria-Hungary feared nationalist movements would tear its empire apart. Meanwhile, countries formed alliances for protection. Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy formed the Triple Alliance. Britain, France, and Russia formed the Triple Entente. The idea was simple. If one country was attacked, its allies would join the fight. Europe had become a powder keg waiting for a spark. The Balkans and southeastern Europe were one of the most unstable regions in the world. For years, the Ottoman Empire had controlled much of the area. But as the Ottoman Empire weakened, new nations emerged. Serbia became increasingly powerful and wanted to unite Slavic people across the Balkans into one nation. This alarmed Austria-Hungary. Why? Because Austria-Hungary controlled millions of Slavic people within its empire. If nationalism spread, the empire itself could collapse. Tensions between Serbia and Austria-Hungary grew worse after a series of Balkan wars in 1912 and 1913. Many leaders feared that the Balkans would eventually trigger a massive European war. And in 1914, those fears became reality. On June 28, 1914, Archduke Franz Ferdinand, the heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, visited Sarajevo in Bosnia with his wife Sophie. It was supposed to be a routine visit, but several Serbian nationalist assassins waited along the route. Earlier that day, one assassin threw a bomb at the Archduke's car. The attack failed. The bomb exploded behind the vehicle, injuring others instead. Most people assumed the danger had passed. But later that day, the Archduke's driver made a wrong turn and accidentally stopped near one of the assassins, a 19-year-old Bosnian Serb nationalist named Gavrilo Princip. Seeing his opportunity, Princip stepped forward and fired 2 shots. One bullet struck Franz Ferdinand. The other hit Sophie. Both died shortly afterward. The assassination shocked Europe. But the deaths themselves were not the only reason war began. The real danger was what happened next. Austria-Hungary blamed Serbia for the assassination. Leaders in Vienna believed Serbia had become too dangerous and needed to be crushed. Before taking action, Austria-Hungary sought support from Germany. Germany's leader, Kaiser Wilhelm II, gave Austria-Hungary what historians later called a blank check, promising full support even if war broke out with Russia. On July 23, 1914, Austria-Hungary sent Serbia an extremely harsh ultimatum. Serbia accepted most demands, but rejected a few conditions that threatened its sovereignty. Austria-Hungary used this as an excuse for war. On July 28, 1914, Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia. What could have remained a regional conflict quickly spiraled out of control. Russia mobilized to defend Serbia. Germany declared war on Russia. Then Germany declared war on France. To attack France quickly, Germany invaded Belgium. But Britain had pledged to protect Belgian neutrality. So Britain declared war on Germany. Within days, nearly all of Europe was at war. The alliance system had transformed one assassination into a global conflict. At first, many people believed the war would end quickly. Crowds gathered in cities, cheering for soldiers. Young men rushed to enlist. Many thought the war would be over by Christmas. They were terribly wrong. Modern weapons made the war far deadlier than anyone expected. Machine guns tore through soldiers. Artillery destroyed entire battlefields. Poison gas introduced a new level of horror. On the Western Front, both sides dug massive trench systems stretching hundreds of miles. Life in the trenches became a nightmare. Mud, disease, rats, constant shelling. Millions of soldiers died fighting for tiny pieces of land. Battles like Verdun and the Somme became symbols of unimaginable destruction. The war spread far beyond Europe. Fighting erupted in the Middle East, Africa, and at sea. Eventually, countries around the world became involved. For years, the United States stayed out of the conflict, but tensions with Germany increased. German submarines attacked ships carrying supplies across the Atlantic. Then came the Zimmermann telegram, a secret German message proposing an alliance with Mexico against the United States. Public opinion shifted rapidly. In April 1917, the United States entered the war on the side of the Allies. Fresh American troops and resources helped turn the tide against Germany. By 1918, Germany and its allies were collapsing. Food shortages spread. Millions were dead. Entire cities were destroyed. On November 11, 1918, Germany agreed to an armistice. World War I was over, but the damage was unimaginable. Around 20 million people died. 4 empires collapsed: Germany, Austria, Hungary, Russia. The Ottoman Empire Europe would never be the same again. After the war, Germany was forced to sign the Treaty of Versailles. The treaty blamed Germany for the war and imposed severe punishments and reparations. Many Germans felt humiliated and angry. Economic collapse and political instability followed. And in the years ahead, those conditions would help another dangerous leader rise to power. A man named Adolf Hitler. World War I was supposed to be the war to end all wars. Instead, it helped create an even deadlier conflict: World War II.